Are LeBron and Luka the best duo in the NBA right now?
No, they're not the best duo. You know, they certainly are the biggest two names together, but the best duo is Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. We all know that. I mean, come on.
No, we all don't know that.
We
That's
do
why
know
I'm
that.
asking you.
We do know
No,
that.
we don't.
What you mean? They just won a championship together.
And they just lost by 30 last night.
No, we're not going to talk about, no, they just won the championship this year. It's the duo. We're saying duo, what you have accomplished together. And we see with Jason, and if you want more argument after that, you know who the second best duo is probably? Jamal Murray and Joker. They're the second best duo based on what they've accomplished together. LeBron James and Luka Dončić are 3 and 2 in their time together. So I can't anoint them the best duo. Now, is Luka arguably the best player in the league? Yes. Is LeBron arguably the best player in the league? Yes. But as a duo, when you come together, they haven't proven anything yet.
No, look, you know I'm just teasing you. I do believe that it's Tatum and Brown.
Do you really?
Yeah, and he's right
Ooh,
about...
Dan, you must, that's big on you, Key, to admit that, to give some Celtic love.
It's not.
That's big on you, man.
No,
I'm proud of you,
it's
man.
reality.
I'm proud of you,
It's
dog.
reality. Right now, they've only played, what, 6 games together?
Man, I'm proud of you.
Maybe 4 games together out of 6 that they've been together?
Can you
Something
tell me,
like that?
Can you, either one of you, throw this to, since you're both on the same page, what do you credit Tatum
3 and 2.
Brown for? No, Tatum and Brown for being the best duo. What is the thing that you say, this is why they are the best duo?
Well, as a duo, they've been to
championship.
6 conference finals.
6 conference finals.
They've been to 2 finals.
2 finals.
They've won a championship as a duo.
As a duo.
So that just the two of them did that.
Well, they had other
No,
players
they got
around
other players.
them.
But before
Everybody
this
has other
team this
players.
year, let's take that out. Move no Porzingis, no Drew Holiday. Okay, 5 conference finals, NBA finals, multiple All-NBAs together, multiple All-Star teams together. So I would say, like, that's pretty good as a duo.
And once LeBron and Luka ramp up, it's the biggest names. There's no question about it. I mean, the name, the snack, crackle, pop, the juice that they have, it's in the back of the jersey.
Like, people would have said, you know, like last year, like if last year LeBron and AD would have been one of the top dudes because of what they've accomplished. You know what I'm saying? They won a championship together. So they probably would have been the second best duo. Or you could argue they would have been the first, you know, last year with AD and Bron based on what they've done.
I like the Jokic Jamal.
Yeah, that's the second
combination.
best duo right now.
Well, but the best duo for me is Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving.
They haven't played 4 quarters together.
Not even played 4 quarters.
Right. I'm not going based.
This is all in hindsight. He's over here just saying what he expects to see.
Mine is more on potential. Because we haven't seen them together.
Yeah.
But one of the things for me with a duo, and it's the same as with a big 3 or with a team, is how do the pieces fit together? And what I like, the problem that what slows me on Tatum and Brown is that they're kind of the same. They sort of play the same position. They have slightly different roles, but they're kind of the same guy. And I would say the same with Luka and LeBron.
Yeah.
What I like about Jamal and Jokic as a selection, or for me, Kyrie and AD, is they complement each other. And so that duo can do more things for my team, and it's easier to fit pieces around them because of what the combo does. AD gives me that great defense. Kyrie gives me that go-to guy. I got inside-outside game at both ends of the floor. Like those other duos that you and Tatum and Brown, they've been successful, right? If you just want to go on what accomplishments,
well, you're not trying to win a
to
championship then.
How's that?
You're not, because in order to win a championship in the league, in the NBA, you have to have a dynamic wing. A dynamic wing. That's one of the ingredients. When you look at the history, say let's start at 2020. I mean 2000. Who win? Like even Iguodala won Finals MVP. LeBron, Kawhi,
dynamic wing,
Durant,
wings,
Kobe,
wings,
Paul Pierce.
Wings.
You have to have a dynamic wing to win a championship.
It's a good
And
good
Boston
argument.
has 2 of them.
It's a good argument.
They have 2 of them.
And it's
The
very,
last-
But they've had
very
2 of them.
difficult.
But they've had 2 of them for a while, and they
Yeah,
didn't
but
win.
you roll the dice, because if you don't have that dynamic wing, it's tough to win. I don't care how good your big man is. I don't care. Joker is the exception. We've had multiple bigs. Yep. Okay, Giannis is an exception, but we're talking about 2 of the top 5 power forwards ever.
Well, wait a minute. But Jokic did win a championship.
Yeah,
They did not have a dynamic wing.
No, they didn't.
I'm putting Michael Porter Jr.
No, but the Joker's going to probably be one of the top 10 players when it's all said and done.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? There's an exception. You know, like your dynamic wing has to be your best player on a championship team. Every championship team,
And they call
for the most part, if you just go down the list, it's like rare when you don't have that and you win.
And they caught teams.
Okay,
Golden State Warriors.
They had a dynamic wing every time.
Every time. Every single time.
Iguodala won the MVP.
Yeah,
and
but
then you
come
got
on,
Durant.
man. That's not.
And then you threw Durant in there and
We
they
don't
made
put Iguodala in the same category as
Why did he get the Finals MVP?
Right? He wasn't even. Sometimes he wasn't even in the.
I mean, well, he was an all-star in this league before Golden State.
Dynamic.
You gotta have.
You know what? For a second there, you.
But even
had
if
me,
it's
but I
not
think there are
dynamic,
exceptions.
but even if
They
it's
won
not,
one championship.
But think about it. If it's not dynamic, though, Rick, it's enough on the wing to get it done.
You gotta have that 6'7" athlete who can do a lot of things.
And you think about
And he's got to be maybe an all-star.
small scoring guards that can score and fill it up like Kyrie.
It's tough to win as a point guard as your best player.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's tough to win.
I agree with
it's
that.
tough to win as the center as your best player.
that.
Yeah.
But this center Joker is the MVP.
Because there was no other centers to balance
exactly.
him out.
So
You know,
your best player has to be a dynamic wing.
Here's the tricky part for me with Tatum and Brown as the duo is that they don't win a championship without Kristaps being Kristaps. I mean, he had
Kristaps
something.
didn't even play that.
he barely played in the playoffs.
He played one game in the finals.
He had some big moments to get them there. He was indispensable at times. They had to have him.
Rick, he didn't play for most of the playoffs.
But when he did, he had a huge.
They was already.
He had
14, they was already 14
You're
and
not going to tell me that Kristaps.
It was 14-1 before he came.
You are not going to tell me that Kristaps Porzingis was not instrumental in them winning a championship. I don't care that he didn't play every game, but he was key. I'm going to keep going. Drew Holiday and Derek White, like
Every team has somebody, though.
but they
Denver
weren't.
got
But those
pieces.
dynamic wings were not winning
the key
championships
ingredient. That's
until
the key
you put
ingredient.
those other pieces there.
That's the key ingredient.
So,
Jordan,
but I can make a
Pippen.
case that those other things were the key ingredient.
I'm not going to argue with y'all.
The
Move
key
on.
ingredient is that one dynamic wing you got to have.
Reports are still coming out of Dallas about how the Mavericks
He tried.
saw Luka, and it's pretty according to the Athletics that the Mavs management saw Luka as lazy with a taste for beer and hookah along with Paul Pierce and predicted his demise in the next 5 years or so.
Hey, man, first team All-NBA smoking hookah.
Yep.
Hey, man, come on to the Truth Lounge.
Yeah, there is
We got hookahs all day. We got hookahs all day.
So, Rick, should the Lakers be worried or spooked about the reports coming out of Dallas about Luka's laziness and beer and hookah lounges?
Yeah.
Should they?
I hate that this is coming out now because it sounds so defensive. I will tell you that from the time that he was draft eligible, there was talk in the league about questions about his lifestyle and his conditioning and whether his body would hold up, all of that. And he's obviously defied that.
Rick, they used to smoke cigarettes in the league.
Oh, no.
You
I
know
understand.
this.
I
I got pictures in Boston.
And
Got Bob Cousy over there with a cigarette.
Yeah, and a beer.
And a beer.
Yeah. No. In the locker room.
In the locker room. They kept beer.
But
I can tell you, it's guys in professional sports across
Yeah. He
doing
just,
way worse things.
yeah.
he's just taking
Get
it
some
back.
pineapple hookah.
I'm with you. But we don't know to what degree. So the Dallas Mavericks, you would think, no. And here's the question why they have to be concerned. Because if there weren't issues, why would you ever trade Luka Dončić? Why? If you weren't concerned.
New owner.
Sometimes you can get talked into things, man.
New owner. And you got to understand, Nico, he's
can
been
get
around
talked-
Michael Jordan and
get
Kobe
talked
Bryant.
into
He
it.
saw them Olympics. At practice, he was like, man, I'm not sure. Like, I saw the habits of these greats.
Yeah.
You know, and so maybe the ego got involved. Like, I don't know, moving forward, if he has what it takes off the court to make that translate on the court to championships.
You might be right. You
know
might
what
be
I'm
right.
saying?
You might be
I
right.
think that maybe it has something to do with it.
You might be right.
You also
But the
can get talked
Lakers,
into it,
but the
too.
Lakers don't know that. So you have
It was
to
told
have
to
a
them.
like you still have to have the question, why would they do it? Right? Why would they trade a generational player if there wasn't some concern that that lifestyle, not up until now, but for the next 5 years is going to be.
The Dallas Mavericks did that because they on page 2 of How to Run a Team for Dummies book. That's what. that's why they on page 2. They on page 2.
Nobody does this.
Yeah.
Nobody. Now look, Rob Pelinka and Nico got a relationship from their days with Kobe and Nike and all those sort of things. That's why I say you can be talked into some things too.
New ownership.
Well, you can have ownership
and
just say we don't want to pay
$345 million
$340
check.
million.
They didn't want to pay that.
I get that. But I do believe we are also seeing a bit of a sea change here, where the supermax contracts are scaring teams into saying, because we've seen it 3 times now, right?
Yes.
We saw it with Paul George with the Los Angeles Clippers. They said we would rather have him walk than pay him that money. The Miami Heat did it with Jimmy Butler.
Yes.
And said we would rather let him walk or take less on the dollar than pay him the max. We are not going to do that.
Rick,
we're going,
and we now ran into that with Luka Dončić. So I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying I'm seeing a trend of teams being so scared of that supermax and guys living up to it that
neither one of those guys in their mid-20s.
Well, it paid off in Boston with our guys.
Neither one.
They got the supermax.
Neither one of those guys in their mid-20s.
But did you have any concerns about Jason Tatum's work ethic or Jaylen Brown's work ethic?
No, but it's going to be this is what we're going to start seeing more. It's going to be guys that maybe talent-wise or what they have accomplished-wise maybe earn it. But if you're not running that straight arrow, that check going to be harder to write moving forward.
Look, because we have the flip side of it. You got Joel Embiid. That's a cautionary tale. Zion Williamson. Cautionary tale.
Yeah.
Guys who never were in
everything you're
condition
saying, Rick,
and had injuries that then became chronic,
that's all
and now they can't live up to their contract.
That's all fine and dandy. You're talking about mid-20s,
right?
5-time All-NBA.
True that.
Okay, you're talking about a guy that could have got $345 million. He just led you to the NBA Finals. You can say he don't play. He ain't gonna never play defense. So what?
Shaq was never gonna make free throws.
And Shaq was never gonna make free throws. He can drink as much beer as he wants, as much hookah. We got hookah lounges all up and down Hollywood Boulevard. He can go have plenty of hookah, all he wants. You traded him for a 32, soon to be 32-year-old that played 3 quarters for you. You cannot project out 5 years what Luka's gonna be, because 5 years from now, what's AD going to be, 37, 38 years old?
Well, but you're not paying him $345 million over that time.
But you're trying to win a championship.
Yeah, and you're trying to win a championship right now.
And if I'm stuck beyond those 5 years with $165 million on my books and I got a championship or 2, who gives a damn?
Okay, but the flip side is, if I win a championship in the next year or 2 with AD.
So you think they're going to win a championship in the next year?
I think they're in the running. I think
that's not what I didn't say. Every team is in the running.
Well, let's see. I mean, honestly,
this is in the casino business. They like the gamble of it.
And this is what it's going to come down to, right? Does Dallas win a championship in the next 2 years, or does Luka Dončić lead the Los Angeles Lakers to a championship in whatever time that he's in LA?
I think he's going to lead. I'm betting on Luka.
Okay, well, you can bet on it, but I think that will determine whether this was a bad trade or not.
And plus, whatever he's doing off the court, I'm worried about what's going on the court. If you're giving me this production, it's none of my business over there. I don't care what you're doing. As long as that don't drop off.
We care what he's doing.
I don't care.
We care what he's doing because we need him to show up to the games. We care.
Yeah, but
he going to show up to the game. You know what Magic was doing? I mean, he still showed up to the games. As long as he showed up to the games with a producer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Now we're going to be talking about
and then we can have somebody go pick him up from the hookah lounge at 4 a.m. in the morning.
You don't have to pick up Magic.
Okay.
You have to pick up Magic.
Let's talk about Paul Celtics. The Boston Celtics took a bad L to the Pistons last night, and Jason Tatum was out there getting crossed up. Crossed up, boom, boom, boom. The 20-point loss dropped Boston to 6.5 games back, in the top seed Cavs are in front of them. Paul, you trying to tell me you're not worried about that?
Worried about what?
You're not worried about that?
Worried about what?
What happened to him last night?
Worried about what?
Oh, okay.
Hey.
So that tells me right there you're not worried about it.
We ain't worried about nothing. Worry about nothing. Hey, we ain't worry about nothing. Hey.
So was this just a bad loss?
Just listen.
Because they gonna give you these. They give you a couple every year.
They lost to the hottest team in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody gonna talk about that though. How about let's talk about they lost to the hottest team. Detroit is on an 8-game win streak. JB might be the coach of the year. Mm-hmm. This is a young, hungry team.
Jaylen Brown didn't play.
And Jaylen Brown didn't play. This is a team that won 31 games total the last 2 years. They're already up to, what, 32, 33 wins now? I mean, come on.
Cavs might be giving them a little push for hot
Man, we're not even, like, we beat the Cavs twice.
No. I'm not saying compared to Boston. I'm just saying in terms of hot teams.
Yeah, I mean, Cavs are on an 8-game winning streak, too. So they're tied for the hottest team in the league. I'm not worried. Man, the Celtics have been playing lights out. No JB. Listen. Sometimes you get complacent with the regular season. This team only worries. They want to get into the playoffs healthy. Sometimes you get bored. Sometimes you get bored with the process. You understand it's a long journey. They understand what it takes. When you win, there's a certain level you know you can get to. You know what I'm saying? You be like, all right, guys, you come in that locker room, all right, it's time to, well, KG used to say, all right, it's time to press the button. Yep. You know what I'm saying? It's time to press that button, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And they understand that. Once you win, you understand that.
Yeah,
Am I worried about the Celtics?
I'm not worried.
No, look, they've kind of been on cruise control. If you're going to be worried about them, you're not worried about them after this Detroit Pistons loss.
No.
You're looking at them through the course of the season, and I've seen it. And Paul is right, and I think you'll second this. Is that once you've reached the top of the mountain, you realize, man, like it'd be nice if we had the top seed. But we don't need the top seed.
That.
All we got to do is win one on the road, and we got home court advantage in a series now. Yeah. And we've done that multiple times.
Right.
So what is there that's going to motivate us to
in our regular season
to get our A game right now, especially when we know
what you
how
don't
long
want to see,
it
though,
is.
Rick, is what I don't want to see is I don't want to see them limping into the playoffs.
They're not limping. They just won 9 out of 11, I believe. They beat
the playoffs ain't here yet. Paul,
New
calm
York.
down.
They beat them bad.
I'm just saying
They just beat Cleveland.
I'm just saying the last couple weeks of the season.
But the games that you worry about, you worry about them games, are you like, all right, look what they're gonna look like versus Cleveland. Oh, we checked that mark off. Yep. New York coming into town. Check that mark off. Detroit. All right, they won, but we can
might be able to steal this one from the young boys, right? And then it gets away from them. Look, you know what? This is a lot like the Lakers-Nuggets game. That game meant everything to the Lakers.
Right.
They game planned like it was Game 7.
As we should.
We got to take Jokic out. Yeah, but Denver played that game like we just beat them 13 out of 14 times, and we didn't even play well half the time. So we're not going to. So I'm not taking the Detroit-Boston game as a litmus of anything any more than I am the Lakers-Nuggets game.
This Lakers slandered to my left.
I have to get that in there. I mean, you have to.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.